Blitz was 5-minute chess with no increment. But you know, things with increment, it's changed a little bit. Anyway, here we go. Eyes down. The game is off. Magnus played d4. Here we go.
Yeah, and he plays this move order that he already played. Ah, wow! And Jan-Krzysztof Duda wanted to transpose into the Catalan line that they have discussed with c4, d4, and then c5. And Magnus now plays something very strange. I mean, he plays the move e3. I don't think that I have ever seen these b6s on the board, and now c4. I guess we're gonna see c4. Black wants to get the bishop to b7.
I think he might go b3. Oh no, okay, he went c4. There you go. Commentator's curse strikes again.
Yes, c4. I mean, okay, now you have to be very, very energetic to try to get something. And what c takes d4? Somehow, you know, it feels like it's quite shaky. I mean, white has now the option also to take cd5 first, and then provoking the knight to d5, and then grab knight takes d4. And if you would trade on d4, then queen d4, suddenly there would be a problem of developing because of the pressure on g7. Of course, black can play the bishop b7. So Magnus just takes knight d4. Knight d4, queen d4 we're gonna see. But still, we see that there is this pressure along the long diagonal, no matter if black will play the move to the bishop to b7.
Yeah, but this doesn't feel like such an issue for black somehow. The other one looked scarier with the knight on d5, scarier for black.
Wow, but e d4, okay, very, very interesting. So Magnus wants to go very quickly, knight c6, bishop g5, and target the d5 pawn.
Yeah, but this doesn't look like very much, because even if white wins that pawn, then, you know, black is going to take on d5. I mean, this okay, now this is a little something, actually. This is something now.
Yeah, this is the typical Magnus something, yeah?
Yeah. In a Blitz game, maybe. In classical chess, you know, in such a dry position, normally black would have the time to invest to find, you know, a cute way to equalize the position. This one, of course, when you don't have much time, it's trickier to you know, flatten the position and equalize. This is tricky now, a little bit of pressure for white. You can see that bishop on f4, beautiful piece, and there's a bit of pressure on the pawn on d5.
Yes, exactly. Queen e8, I like this move. One needs to target this queen on a4. I mean, queen a4 and rook c1 together would be already a very, very unpleasant combo. Queen e8, a classy move. Very, very nice move.
Yeah, and if queen b3, then the queen just pops out to d7 to guard the pawn on d5.
Yes, now there is one line, you know, that catches my attention. For example, if we trade everything, if I could play something like rook fc1, rook ac8, bishop f1, and then go bishop a6 and try to get the c file, it would be very nice, but probably you will have time to go bishop f6 attacking my d4 pawn. Okay, so I just wanted to show that, yeah, there are all kinds of things to calculate. Yeah, Magnus goes queen a6, I'm expecting queen c8.
Yeah.
Queen c8 will be played immediately, and then queen b5, queen e8 back, and then a4.
Then maybe a4, exactly.
Yeah.
a4 might give him a little nibble.
Yes, queen c8, queen b5, queen e8, and then suddenly white could protect the queen with a4.
Yeah, just gives white just a little bit of initiative. It's not a completely dry position yet. Yeah, queen c8 there. So we're expecting queen b5.
Queen to b3. Keep the pressure on d5. But Magnus is now behind on the clock. Yeah, he goes queen b5, of course.
At some moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the players are taking their time. Yeah, it just shows, yeah, now both players will be down to 3 minutes each. We are getting a new Blitz game, yeah, with 3 minutes plus 3 seconds. Yeah, queen b7 finally on the board. Queen b7, it just feels safer. Yeah, rook fc1, Magnus is trying to get this bishop f1, queen a6 side. They are trying to fight for the c file, but yeah, he first goes h4 because black is coming with bishop f6, hitting the d4 pawn, so it's not so easy to h4, h6, two useful moves made by both players, creating luft for their king. Yeah, bishop e5 first, stopping any kind of bishop f6, and now bishop f1, queen a6 might be an idea, so I'm expecting some trade on c1 and then rook c8. But then d5 pawn is hanging. Okay.
But I think that's why Magnus played h4 in order to give his king some luft, so that after those exchanges, on c8 with the rooks, then the back rank wouldn't be some kind of issue, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the idea. Now b5, a4. I mean, suddenly black has two weaknesses on b5 and on d5. We see that white's bishops are stronger. It might be exactly what Magnus needs.
Yeah, but
a b5.
And the pawn will come to b4.
Well, but now it's a tough decision. Do you take queen b5 or a b5? Again, not obvious at all.
No.
And then you are winning time. Yeah, Magnus is now 20 seconds up on the clock. Yeah, queen b5 play.
Yeah, but I mean, after the exchange of bishop f1, the pawn comes to b4, and it looks pretty stable for black.
And then b5, b4, yeah.
It's hard to see how white will make progress there.
Well, you need magic, yeah? Magnus magic.
It's the Magnus magic.
Yeah, Magnus goes rook c8 first, rook c8. Where can he hide his queen? Can he hide his queen? I don't believe that he can. Probably he will trade, yeah. He just did bishop f1, b4, and then
bishop d3.
Yeah, and he got the a5, yeah.
Yeah, so he'll play bishop d3, stopping the rook coming to c2. And also, it does look at the king side as well, so that, black has to be a little bit careful about the back rank.
Yeah, and now this is the advantage, that white's rook is much better than the rook on c8. Rook on c8 has nowhere to invade, while white actually has rook a7, rook a6, depending on the situation. And there is some pressure on black's king side as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, g5 trying to break out.
Committal, because there's got to watch out for rook a7. Rook a7 hitting the bishop. Feels like that should be coming.
Yeah, takes, rook a7. Okay, after king f8, would you go bishop g7 or not? That's the question, yeah. Rook a6 played. Rook a6, so Magnus wants to stop any kind of f6. And then black's king is now in some kind of a box. And can he maybe just slowly get his king to d2 and make sure of any empty squares?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, Magnus keeping the pressure. Somewhere in a bishop endgame, if everything gets traded off, then white has this winning idea of collecting the g4 pawn. That's why it's so difficult to decide. Yeah, finally he goes for g4. Not a happy choice. It's basically played out of necessity, trying to create some.
Rook b6 is a very nice move. So just keeping an eye on the pawn, so that obviously restricts the bishop's movement. Bishop on e7. So Magnus has his kind of position. Now the rook activates. Rook coming down to a2. Watch out.
Yeah, but there is always mate on b8.
Rook b8, yes.
Yeah.
Rook b8.
Rook b7.
This is actually pretty nasty for black.
Yeah, very nasty. No?
And rook b6, and it could swing to h6.
But then he comes back bishop e6.
Well, watch out for a checkmate on h8.
Yeah, bishop e6. Alright, Magnus has 40 seconds advantage and he's pushing, so and here there is only 3 seconds increment. Yeah, Magnus now.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, excellent idea. Bring the king round.
Protecting the weakness on b2. King e8, but Black's king has a problem because the Black's king can't really run, then he runs into some checks and some trouble. Black might have to get stuck with king f8, king e8, king d8. Wow, I mean running into trouble.
Let's see. Black is actually getting pretty short of moves here. And start to target the pawn on d5. That's a good start. Okay, that restricts Black. King can't move up.
And Duda down to 15 seconds. It's very, very tough to make any move. Bishop g5 check can be also answered by bishop f4 eventually as well. Then, yeah, rook e8 back.
Yeah, now bishop c2 to b3 maybe.
This is your idea to target.
And then rook b5 at the pawn.
Interesting, yeah, but I think Magnus doesn't really want to change the course of the game. He's very happy that he sees that Duda is very unhappy.
Oh, watch out, mate trick, king b3, bishop a4, and then bishop c2 and checkmate. Oh, there you go.
Bishop d5.
So the bishop probably will come back.
And now bishop c8, bishop c7 is checkmate. Watch out.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone for it.
d7. Wow, and rook d5, king c6. Rook d5, king c6 would have tapped the rook.
And now Black's rook is free to roam. It can come to f1 to hit the pawn on f2. Duda could be breaking free here.
Exactly. I mean, this is what he needed with little time on the clock, and now he's gonna save it.
Should do. Yeah, he's got enough time. He's got 14 seconds left, but suddenly he's just got enough activity. Now, Magnus Bishop has come back to e3 to hold the pawns, but Magnus lost his dominating position there with just a little flurry of moves.
Yeah, now rook d1 check, king c2, rook e1 is, for example, a repetition. And Magnus also not having so much time.
The only thing I can think is that White's rook could go round to g8 to target the g pawn.
Okay, still f5, king e6. I always have this, but yeah, Magnus refused the repetition. Bishop d2, rook f1, bishop e3, rook d1. Okay, we might be.
No repetition yet.
Well, this is last second time.
Now bishop takes g3 is a threat.
Well, bishop g3, king d2 is still there. It's not. I was calculating this in the previous one, but then bishop c7, rook d5. Okay, what?
He's gone for it.
He gone for it after rook e5, bishop g3. Why on earth, with few seconds on the clock, would you do that? Yeah, and Jan-Krzysztof shaking his head, completely blundered this king d2, and now he's losing. Unbelievable, just
incredible. Wait a second. Okay, g3, does that make a difference? No, and then takes a rook g5. Oh, what a blunder at the end there. Incredible. So we should just recap that tactic, Peter, just very, very quickly, just to explain what's going on.